Good morning and welcome to our devotion time together. I'd like to share with you from the book of Luke, chapter 19, verse 27, where it reads, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your mind, and with all your strength, and and love your neighbor as yourself." This has been noted as when Jesus was asked, what is the greatest commandment? And this is a great summary of really what God expects of us: to love God with our all, to really make it simple, to give our all, the way we think, the way we feel, and what we do in life. In other words, how do we act? How do we live our lives? All of that is to be out of love for our God. And the purpose of that is really simple. It's that we can really be a total witness to how great God is by everything that we do in our lives. And that is so important to understand. And that's how much we need to love God. I even like the second part, and it says, love the neighbor as ourselves. See, that's the person, not just that lives next door, by the way. That's the person, the other person that you come in contact in your life. That's that person that you really can help and give your all to. And you can do that again in so many ways to show that type of love. And so I really would like us to focus today on that love for God and for other people. And that could be the hard one. I'll be the first one to admit. I mean, there's a lot of different types of personalities out there, and yet God says you love them. In fact, God says, Jesus in another verse says, He says, love your enemies even. Wow, now that's a big one. See, the difference is, and listen closely, you can love someone, but you don't have to like them. I know to a lot of people that sounds really weird, but it's really not. See, in other words, and that's how, once you understand that, that's how you can really love even your enemy, someone who's against you. And how that happens is that you don't wish them harm. If they do need something, you can give it to them, or you can help them in some way, I would think, wouldn't you? See, that's what love is. But that doesn't mean that I have to have that person over for dinner and sit down and be a friend with them and spend time with them. It doesn't mean that. Sorry, it doesn't. That's not what love is. Love is helping even if you don't feel like it. In other words, you don't, forget the emotional part of it. You still got to love. And you can do that knowing that, like I said, you can help, you can give of yourself, but you can have boundaries. You don't have to be their best friend, so to speak. And I think that's very important distinction to understand. And then when you love in that way, that's that unconditional love. There's no strings attached. That's the biblical love, the agape love that God wants us all to have. And that's when you're really living out these two commandments, which really are just one, aren't they? You're loving God with your total being, and you're loving others as yourself. God bless you, and have a great day.